It all just disappears, doesn't it? Everything you are gone in a moment, like breath on a mirror. Any moment now, he's a-coming.
Who's coming?
The Doctor.
You are the Doctor?
Yep. And I always will be. But times change, and so must I.
Hi everyone, TARDIS Guy 123 here, and today I'm going to be counting down my top 10 story arcs. So these could be new series or classic. I've got a mix of both in here. And you know, it's just kind of like new series tends to be, well, Stephen Moffat's series tend to be much more timey-wimey and whatnot, whereas Russell T Davies's was much more kind of like a word running throughout the series. In classic, they tended to mix it up a bit. You know, they had kind of like different themes and whatnot. It's not, the new series does it a lot more, but classic Who did do it a bit with kind of like trilogies and storylines and whatnot occasionally, but you know, it's mainly the new series that does it. So let's start off with 10th place, and that is the Series 2 Torchwood Arc.
What is that thing?
We got no idea.
What's wrong with it?
What makes you think there's something wrong with it?
I don't know. It just feels weird.
Well, the sphere has that effect on everyone. Makes you want to run and hide, like it's forbidden.
We've tried analysing it using every device imaginable. But, according to our instruments, the sphere doesn't exist. It weighs nothing, it doesn't age, no heat, no radiation, and has no atomic mass.
I can see it.
Fascinating, isn't it? It upsets people because it gives off nothing. It is absent.
Well, Doctor?
This is a void ship.
Now overall this is a very simple arc, there's not too much going on here. But I think that's why I like it, I guess, because it's very simplistic. You know, the season 2 finale is not the best finale. I'll say that for it. You know, it treats the Cybermen rather badly, and the Cybermen, it hasn't got better for them. But overall, it's not terrible, and I like the general kind of like idea of what's going on there. And yeah, and you've also got the whole parallel world thing going on as well in the background. That's fairly interesting. So now let's move on to 9th place, and that is the Black Guardian trilogy.
We haven't much longer. I need to know that I have your assent to our arrangement. You'll find me the most accommodating of partners.
But murder? I'm not sure I could go that far.
You will be destroying one of the most evil creatures in the universe. He calls himself the Doctor.
Now, before I do my little spiel on the Black Guardian trilogy, I'd just like to say something I forgot to mention earlier, and that is that this isn't about the individual episodes and stories in the arcs. It's more about the ideas on displays in the arcs and their execution as well. So now that I've got that on my system, let's talk about the Black Guardian trilogy, which is an interesting concept, but you know, it's stretched out a bit too much, the idea of Turlo having to kill the Doctor each week and whatnot, and it gets to a point where Mordrin Undead, it's okay, and then by the time you get to Enlightenment, it's just boring and tedious. But you know, other than that, it works. It's a simple idea. You've got the Black Guardian there as well, who was last seen in the Key to Time, which will be on this list a bit later in the video. So now let's move on to 8th place, and that is the Series 8 Neversphere / Heaven / whatever you want to call it arc.
Get away from here! All of you! Run! Go! Go! Get away from here! Run away! Run! Get away from here! All of you now! Now!
I'm sorry, everyone. Another ranting Scotsman in the street. I had no idea there was a match on.
Get away! Go!
Stop shouting now. Stop making a fuss. It's too late.
All the graves of planet Earth are about to give birth.
You know the key strategic weakness of the human race. The dead outnumber the living.
Who are you?
Oh, you know who I am. I'm Missy.
Who's Missy?
Please try to keep up.
You know, I just finished up my reviews for the entire Series 8 recently, so if you want more in-depth thoughts on this, go check there. But, you know, overall, I think the arc had some interesting ideas, but once they were put into practical stage and whatnot and all that stuff, it all seemed to fall apart. There were too many plot holes to pick in it, for my taste, which is unfortunate. I think it could have worked had the ideas been a bit more thought out, a bit more fleshed out as well and whatnot. But, you know, not terrible, I guess. One of the better series we've had recently, and arcs, but nevertheless, still not too impressive. So now let's move on to 6th place, I think, and that is the Entropy arc of Season 18.
A chain of circumstances that fragments the law that holds the universe together.
It's a loose arc, and it's kind of like got its own arc within it, or mini trilogy. Well, not mini trilogy, just the trilogy. It can't really be mini. Can't really have anything smaller than 3 or bigger than 3. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a trilogy. I'm rambling. I am very sorry for that. But you know, it's an interesting idea, and I think it worked quite well. It's very New Who in concepts, I guess, and yeah, it all gets tied together in Legopolis, and it slowly builds up to Legopolis. And you know, I like that kind of like slow build up and whatnot to a series finale or season finale or whatever. And it's a very big one, and it's good because that rarely happens. Whereas in the new series, these big things happen all the time, so it just kind of like takes away the meaning of them. Anyway, let's get back on topic and move to what is actually 6th place. I said 6th place, that this was 6th place. This is 7th place. I'm sorry. Now let's move on to 6th place, which is the Ace arc.
What's happened?
The wolves of Fenric, descendants of the Viking who first buried the flask, all pawns in my game. Dr. Judson, Commander Millington, the Ancient One, Captain Sorry, and now you.
Me? You can't! How?
The baby. In 30 years, the baby will be grown. She will have a daughter. That daughter will be you. You've just created your own future.
Another rather loose arc, but you know, it's Doctor Who's first attempt to do a rather adult take on a companion and kind of like have an arc film and whatnot. And that hadn't really been done up to this point. And yeah, it's carried into the new series, so I guess you could say she's the prototype for the new series companion. You know, personally, I prefer Ace over most of the new series companions, if not all of them. I'm not sure, maybe Donna's better. But you know, Ace's arc is very intriguing, very good. And yeah, I think it's worthy of getting 6th place. So now let's move on to 5th place. And that is the Series 5 arc with the crack in the wall.
Sorry, dropped it. Hello, Stonehenge! Who takes the Pandorica takes the universe. But bad news, everyone! 'Cause guess who?
Overall, a good arc and part of a larger arc in total, you know, the whole Matt Smith one, which, you know, I'm not too fond of. This part of it I do quite like. It's before it got all silly in Series 6 and whatnot. Here, it's good. It's rather simple, perhaps a bit, well, not too simple, but, you know, there are some elements that could work better. But overall, quite an intellectual one, and I like it. So now let's move on to 4th place, and that is the Series 4 arc, which I have no name for.
Oh, you're fascinating. I know, but you're good. I can see a man, the most remarkable man. How did you meet him?
You're supposed to tell me.
I see the future. Tell me the past. When did your lives cross?
Series 4 arc had a little bit more going on than the previous 3 series. Rather than just being one word, it kind of had quite a few different things. You had Rose appearing every once in a while, and there was quite a bit of other stuff going on as well there. And overall, I think it works rather well. It's got a very big and epic finale. I would say it's a bit too epic for its own good, but overall, not a bad series. And, you know, it's got Donna, so it's got to be good. And now let's move on to 3rd place, which is The Key to Time.
Doctor?
Yes?
Your presence is required.
Look, listen, I don't wish to appear rude, but who are you?
Do you really need to ask, Doctor?
Well, only a guardian. I see. Well, in that case, sir.
You will come to no harm.
Just as you say.
The first time the classic series ever really attempted something like this, and it comes off really well. No, it's a solid arc, nothing too complex, but it works well enough with a different segment each time, so the story arcs remain contained, but still play in with the larger stories. So now let's move on to 2nd place, which is Bad Wolf.
The transmat delivers to that point, right on the edge of the solar system.
There's nothing there.
It looks like nothing, because that's what this satellite does. Underneath the transmission, there's another signal.
Doing what?
Hiding whatever's out there. Hiding it from sonar, radar, scanner. There's something sitting right on top of planet Earth, but it's completely invisible. If I cancel the signal...
I love Series 1. The Ninth Doctor is great. Rose could be better, but she's much better in Series 1 than she is in Series 2, I feel. And overall, it just works very well with the whole Bad Wolf plot. It's very simple, but it works. And that's what's good about it. So now let's move on to 1st place, which is the Earthbound Arc.
Now then, what about me?
We have accepted your plea that there is evil in the universe that must be fought, and that you still have a part to play in that battle.
What do you mean, that you're going to let me go free?
Not entirely. We have noted your particular interest in the planet Earth. The frequency of your visits must have given you special knowledge of that world and its problems.
Yeah, yes, I suppose that's true. Earth seems more vulnerable than others, yes.
For that reason, you will be sent back to that planet.
Oh, good.
In exile.
A very loose arc, but I see it as an arc nevertheless, and it kind of like runs from the end of the War Games to the end of the 3 Doctors, where the exile is finally lifted. But it's very good. I feel it offers a lot of different stories that can be told, and it all comes together very nicely. And I just love that kind of like period when the Doctor's trapped on Earth as Unit's scientific advisor. So now let's move on to... No, there's nothing to move on to. This is the time to finish it up now. So thanks for watching, everyone. Oh, and one thing, sorry this video took so long to get out. I'm actually stopping the top 10s for a while now because they take too long to make. So yeah, and it's just going to be back to classic reviews now that Series 8's done. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all next time with a review of The Visitation. Bye, everyone.